Capitol Hill. Thank you so much for joining me. I saw you on TV with my dear friend Brianna in your cleats and your, bloodied hand. You've cleaned up a bit, but still, I'm sure this morning is etched in your mind and will be for some time. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's obviously you don't expect to go to a baseball practice for one of the most bipartisan things we do in Washington, a game for charity, and expect to be shot at. But my thoughts and prayers are with Steve Scalise and Matt and Micah, David and Crystal, and also the others that were injured. This is a tragedy, and the ratcheting up of political rhetoric has just got to stop.
I want to get to that because talking to one other congressman, he was just saying you all sign a pledge of civility, and that's where we all need to be talking way more about that. I did just get an update on Congressman Scalise. He is now officially out of surgery. Condition is still critical. Have you had, I know your day has been madness. Have you had a minute to catch your breath, talk to your family, talk to any of the survivors' families?
I have not talked to Steve Scalise or his family. When I was up to bat when the shooting began. Heard what I thought was a loud bang. And
did you think it was gunshots at first?
I thought it was a construction site that dropped a big piece of metal. And then I heard, "Run, he's got a gun." And I did. We worked our way over in the dugout, as many did. I got out of the dugout, saw the heroic acts of our Capitol policemen fighting back against this madman. When the gunshots let up a little bit, I went out into the street and was able to make it into an apartment building. A good Samaritan opened the door and told 3 of us to come in. And that's
call your families.
That's when I was able to call 911.
Yep.
They'd already been called by then, I'm sure. But I called my wife and I called my kids. Those are phone calls I never thought I'd have to make in my life.
Did she believe you? I mean, it's 7 in the morning and you're playing baseball.
She's probably a little more cognizant of security threats because of what I do than I am. So she believed me immediately, and that was the most tragic part of my morning.
And this afternoon, how does this hit you?
I think this is our time that we as Americans have to take a step back.
Yeah.
And we got to take a deep breath. As we see reports of this individual who, unfortunately, makes me nauseous, came from my home state of Illinois, traveled out. The pictures you see show that he's been engaged in politics and in policy and protesting. We can't let our policy differences tear this country apart with polarization. It's up to us as Republicans and Democrats to really say enough's enough. We can protest our differences and let's settle that at the ballot box. I've been yelled at and spat on walking in the streets of Illinois. I've had protesters come saying our policies are killing people.
But to have someone pull a gun.
That's what I mean. And you hope and pray that never happens. But I saw it happen today, and I saw my friend, not just my friend, but a dad of 2 young kids, Steve Scalise, laying motionless in the outfield. And I was helpless, and all of us were helpless to help him.
Have you allowed yourself to think, I think, and I agree, kudos to the Capitol Police, who happened to be there because as a member of leadership, Congressman Scalise was there, but had he not been, had Speaker Ryan needed him for a meeting this morning and he happened to have not been at that ballpark, those Capitol Police officers would not have been there.
They would not have been. And there would have been a massacre of epic proportions. And let's keep in mind, this ball field is around a dog park. It's around other facilities. And they're innocent women, children were on the field.
10-year-old was there.
I mean, this is what we as Americans have to do to come together. To know that somebody thinks it's okay because of political differences to bring a gun to a ballpark and indiscriminately shoot at innocent people. Luckily not kill anyone. But to shoot at innocent people and women and children, that's something that we as Americans, not just members of Congress, Republicans and Democrats, we got to take this day as our day to put an end to it. And that means all of us. That means the media. That means social media. Let's come together and discuss our policy differences, but let's not make it so personal, which obviously led to this.
But how do we do that? I mean, the rhetoric's been nasty, and that's not news. The rhetoric has been nasty, and I don't want this one day when everyone comes together. I mean, the moments from Leader Pelosi and Speaker Ryan, it was such a beautiful moment this morning when they spoke, to have everyone coming together because of this tragic incident, and for us to walk away at the end of the evening and go back to partisan bickering is wrong.
It is, and that's why I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that we take this as a lesson, that we can't go back. One of the most humbling things I had after we listened to the great speeches from Speaker Ryan and Leader Pelosi, I had my Democrat friends and many of my Republican friends come up. It's just hugs, and I had one good friend. People wouldn't think we disagree on a lot of policies, but she said, "You know what? I've been calling you immediately on your phone. My phone's still out in the crime scene. My wedding band is too. I'm hoping the Arlington police get that back for me." But she said, "I just want to know you're okay," and that's what we see here in Congress. Most of what we do is bipartisan, but the areas of disagreement are settled in the ballot box and in our voting cards here, and that's what we all have to accept, because that's what makes America great.
I think what a lot of people, maybe as they've been caught up in the details of the shooting, from what I had read this morning, you guys were playing in honor of the victims in Manchester, in the honor of that attack. And now here you both find yourselves as victims of violence. The game is going on. You guys are going out to, Nat Stadium tomorrow night. You've raised all this money, which is amazing, but all eyes will be on that game tomorrow night. What do you want people to take away, baseball aside, from all of this?
That Republicans and Democrats do get along. We do work together. And I want this game tomorrow to be the biggest and the best game that we've ever seen. 600,000 plus has already been raised for the local DC charities. I want to challenge every one of your viewers to log in, help us out, and let's double that.
Where can they go?
Where can they go? Go to the Congressional Baseball Game Facebook page. There will be links, but go there. Make this game what it should be. A reminder to anybody who wants to take a part in what I now call political rhetorical terrorist acts. And let's send them a message that we're together. We're here to govern. We may have our differences, but we can get by those differences, and we can do what our forefathers told us to do in this Congress, and I want to make sure that we do that and show that to everybody in America tomorrow night.
Batter up. Congressman Davis, thank you so much for swinging by. I'm glad you're all right.